Good evening from Crawfordsville High School on the Athenian baseball field, where tonight the Athenians host the Lafayette Jefferson Bronchos. Lafayette coming in with a record of 12-5-2. We'll talk more about that too later. And your Athenians come in at 16-3. Beautiful evening for baseball. Haven't had many of those lately. But we've got a situation here with a 63-degree temperature and the wind at about 5 miles an hour out of the southwest. This is Dan Welliver along with Justin Duggar. There he is again. And Michael Smith on the camera. So we're about ready to go here as the coaches are at home plate with the umpires getting things set and ready to go. We will put PA announcer David Raynard on as soon as he's ready to do the starting lineups. We might just mention had a little bit of a video problem in the last webcast, Justin, and
yes, we did have a little bit of problems last night. What happened is the cable was froze up on my computer. We didn't know what happened. Michael's going to be still helping out to do that. They shut down and restarted again that time.
Okay. Well, we hope we're good today, and we really, the ball game Saturday was one that the Athenians lost by a 7-0 game score, but the game was probably what we'd say more competitive than that. The Athenians really having just one bad inning that kind of turned things. And so Athenians went down to their third loss of the season, losing to Whiteland by a score of 7-0. This Lafayette Jefferson Ball Club, like the Athenians, take a spring trip, and they actually went into Knoxville, Tennessee. Well, we're going to put David Raynard on here to give you the starting lineups, and then we'll have the national anthem following.
Class 3A, number 1 ranked Crawfordsville Athenians. Here are tonight's starting lineups. First, for the Broncos, leading off the left fielder, number 15, Nick McCalmont. Batting second, the shortstop, number 2, Justin Walker. Batting third, the designated hitter, number 11, Chandler Ferguson. Ferguson will be hitting for starting catcher, number 25, Dylan Wagner. Batting fourth, the second baseman, number 4, Clay Bowman. Batting fifth, the third baseman, number 16, Jay Siegel. Batting sixth, the right fielder, number 5, Cole Bridge. Batting seventh, the center fielder, number 10, Connor Hamilton. Batting eighth, starting pitcher, number 12, Riley Potts. And batting ninth, the first baseman, number 34, Nick Ewell. The Broncos are coached by Mr. Scott McTaggart. And now, the starting lineup for your Crawfordsville Athenians. Leading off, the starting pitcher, number 8, Trent Johnson. Batting second, the left fielder, number 5, Carson Scott. Batting third, the right fielder, number 27, Big Caden Jones. Batting cleanup, the third baseman, number 23, Chase Dowell. Batting fifth, the second baseman, number 4, Peyton Abney. Batting sixth, the center fielder, number 20, Josh Blackburn. Batting seventh, your designated hitter, number 12, Cale Windelin. Windelin will be hitting for starting catcher, number 11, Owen Bennett. Batting eighth, the first baseman, number 21, Will Kellerman. And batting ninth, your shortstop, number 25, Cade Fitzwater. Your Athenians are coached by Mr. John Froge. He is assisted by Rhett Welliver, Tony Bean, Tommy Coy, Daryl Hobson, Connor Smith, and Brandon Froge. This evening's umpires behind home plate, Mr. Darren Haas, and on the bases, Mr. Jerry Phelps. Please direct your attention to the American flag located in right field. At this time, the Crawfordsville Community School Corporation and the IHSAA invite you to please stand and remove your caps as we honor the United States of America. Let's play Athenian baseball. For our guests from Lafayette, please know that today's game is being broadcast live on YouTube. If you know someone that wasn't able to make it out to the ballpark, give them a call and let them know.
Well, once again, a great job by our PA announcer, David Raynard, and we're looking at, should I say, an ex-Athenian umpiring behind home plate this evening, Mr. Darren Haas, and Jerry Phelps is your base umpire this evening. So that sets the crew in blue, and we're getting Trent Johnson warmed up as he forms the battery with Mr. Bennett behind the plate.
I got to tell you something about Dan. Past 11, 20 years later would be the umpire been Dave McAmber. He used to be umpire for our baseball Crawfordsville.
Many times, yes.
And he is coaching over here in Central Catholic softball coaching now. Now, I just got to meet him today, and he was a nice guy. We all talk, and we never been talking almost for 20 years.
Well, he has been a very fine official over the years, obviously doing baseball, but also doing football and some basketball, so he was a busy man, but as you say, he is now coaching softball for Central Catholic. Probably officiating's lost, but Central Catholic's gained as we look at it that way. Well, we're just a few seconds really away from the starting pitch. And again, we mentioned that Lafayette Jeff comes in with a record of 12.
It is currently 63 degrees and the wind is 4 miles per hour out of the south.
Oh, well, I was just listening to David there, and he gave almost the same weather forecast we did, except he had 1 mile less in wind speed.
Yep.
So we'll go with that, okay?
Yep.
All right. Well, here we go. First batter steps in, and Trent Johnson wheels and deals a strike right down the middle.
6:02 p.m. 6:02.
6:02 starting time. No balls, one strike. McComet, the hitter for Lafayette Jeff, pops it toward right field. Back is Abney, under and has it for out number one. So McComet flies out to second base to lead off the game for the Broncos.
The shortstop, Justin Walker.
That brings up Carson. Pardon me, I'm looking at the Athenian. That won't work. Justin Walker, the shortstop for the Broncos.
Good job, Owen. Come on, Owen. Great job. See you in the front. Good job.
2 balls, no strikes. Count on Walker, left-handed hitter. Here's a ground ball to third. Chase Dow up with it on to first base. In the glove of Will over there, and he has out number 2. So 5-3, 2 down. Brings up the designated hitter, Chandler Ferguson. Chandler wears number 11. Right-handed hitter fouls it off into the screen on the right side. Trent Johnson, don't know what his recorded speed has been in recent games, but throwing hard. Here's a good breaking ball. Swung on and missed by Ferguson, and Trent quickly ahead, 0-2. Here's a pitch. Swung on and missed on a high fastball. So Trent records his first strikeout of the ball game. And the Broncos go 1, 2, 3.
No errors and none left.
Your Athenians coming to bat. Now back to the velocity. I think this probably been mentioned several times, but we know Trent has hit a top speed of around 88 miles an hour on his fastball, and he's got a really good breaking ball to go along with that. So Trent comes in with plenty of ammunition. When he's on, he's a young man that very hard to hit, and as we all know, the game starts with pitching, and pitching is the name of the game. So the Athenians very happily have a deep pitching staff this year, and we've been able to enjoy a number of folks throwing the ball. I think the bad news that I got that is we have an injury.
I think that our Crawfordsville Athenians trying to get more action and get back to playing in the game. Looking forward to go for a sectional.
No question about it. Well, I got word that Cam Saunders had a break and a bad one so he's going to be out of action. What I'm getting, he'll be out for the rest of the year, which wanted to mention that Cam had actually had his start against 4A number 1 Carmel, and but he's thrown some innings since then, but it looks like he'll be down for the rest of this season, unfortunately. Well, Athenians coming to bat with the normal starting lineup here as far as batting order. Trent Johnson leading off. He'll be followed by Carson Scott and then Caden Jones.
Athenians, the pitcher, Brent Johnson.
Pitching for Lafayette Jeff is Riley Potts. He's a right-hander. Don't have the size of these young men, but young man looks to be a little bit over 6 feet tall, and he brings the first one in there for a strike. Here's the next pitch, and that one stays up high. Count 1 ball, 1 strike. Riley Potts is a senior.
Yep.
Here's a pitch swung on, pop. The catcher coming back, looking, and no room as it goes back here and actually drops into our stand behind home plate. That's pretty hard to do. There's not all that much room there for that to happen, but nonetheless, we have a fan retrieving that ball. So Trent down on the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the next pitch. It hangs high. Looked like a slider actually coming in there, and Trent picked that up right away and takes it for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's a pitch. Trent takes that one up and maybe a little bit away. So a full count here on number 8. Trent coming in hitting .424. Very healthy batting. Here's a ground ball to third, and that's going to be, well, we got a foul ball called by the first base umpire.
I think the first baseman umpire thought hit a foul ball and down in the dirt line.
Yeah. Well, that's a tough one. Darren Haas behind home plate has a hard time, as any umpire would, from that position, seeing that. Anyway, the count remains full. Here's a ground ball again to third. This one will count. Third baseman up with it. Here's a throw high, but the first baseman able to get back down just in time. So 5-3 and one down as Trent rolls out to the third baseman.
Carson Scott.
All right, that'll bring up left fielder Carson Scott.
Also, Scott do right and left hit batting is having.
Well, Carson comes in at 375. Here's the first pitch taken for a ball outside as Carson squared around, but I think he was just looking and not seriously considering a bunt at that point. 1 ball, no strikes, just getting going here on the Athenian baseball field. Bottom of the first, one down. Here's the pitch. This is bunted. Down the first base side. He's going to beat that one out. Carson Scott. The ball gets loose. Now he's going to second base. They will have a play. Here's a throw. Scott is in there as the ball actually hit him as he's going into second base. So the Athenians with a threat here now. One down and Carson Scott at second base. That will have to go as a base hit. And then a throwing error as the ball got by the first baseman.
That was an error. Just threw right over for that, the first.
So Caden Jones with a man in scoring position now. First pitch to Jones, down in the dirt, gets loose, but no advancement there by Scott. Well, Caden Jones comes in leading the team in batting average with .528. Wind gently blowing out. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled off to the left side, and the count evens. 1 ball, 1 strike.
We just hit the pole and it came right back down and almost hit the fan.
Potts out of the stretch. And a pitch. Swung on. And a check swing. Back into the net. And now Caden Jones saying that did not go off the bat, but we're going to see what's going on as the umpires getting together. Darren Haas and Jerry Phelps.
Well, I guess Scott went over the third, and he went over there, and they called a foul ball back. He had to go back to the base. That's what's the problem.
So we've got 1 ball, 2 strikes. Caden back in it now. Here's a ball taken to left field. That might get down. And it is. So that'll score an Athenian run as Scott Easley around and on to home and on to second base. He is Caden Jones with a RBI double to left field.
The third baseman, Chase Dowell.
So Athenians on the board. That brings up Chase Dow, the Athenian third baseman. Here's a pitch swung on and missed, a high fastball. Potts, a little mustard on that one, got it by Chase. Here's the throw in it. That one gets I think off the shortstop's leg out there. Something stopped it there. But anyway, no advancement as the pitcher and shortstop were not really quite together on that one. Here's a pitch swung on and missed. They'll chase behind on the count 0-2. Potts turns again to second base. Nobody there to help him.
No.
Here's the 0-2. This is way up high. So we're a little short on fans this evening. Not sure what else is going on, except I do know there's a softball game behind us. The Lady Athenians playing Central Catholic. Here's the pitch. This is taken right there for strike 3 as Chase got froze on that one. So strike 3 looking, and 2 down now for the Athenians, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Peyton Abney.
Look like there's softball scores over here. It's 2-0 right now. They're 2 out. It's so far.
Peyton ducks that one, and the breaking ball stays high. Kind of put himself in jeopardy of getting hit in the helmet on that one, though. He probably should have bailed a little more. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 down. Bottom half of the first, your Athenians on the board, 1-0. Here's a pitch, swung on a miss. A ball that's up out of the zone. Peyton recognized that about halfway through the swing, but just a little bit too late to do anything about it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Long pause by Potts, and the pitch popped to the right side, and first baseman over with a lot of room on this one. He'll bring that in for out number 3. So Peyton Abney pops out to first base for the final out of the inning, but the Athenians take the lead here in the first inning, 1-0.
Don't forget we'll be back on the action on a webcast tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and Friday night. Not on Saturday, and we'll be back.
Well, you got Tuesday and Thursday conference games.
Yeah.
It'll be no webcast, though, at Southmont at last word. So that's a Thursday game. But, yeah, Southmont, Crawfordsville here tomorrow night, weather permitting, we might add.
Wednesday night we're playing Benton Central here.
Benton Central is the Wednesday game?
Yep.
Right? Okay.
Then we got a makeup game with Danville for Friday night here.
Right. Well, everybody's got a lot of makeups. We have had a tough, several weeks now of weather, and most of the local ball clubs are behind on their schedule, trying to hustle and kind of get some things made up. But weather not always cooperating. Well, we go to the top half of the second. Trent Johnson just about done with his warm-up pitches. All right, ready to go here as Clay Bowman steps in. He's the second baseman for the Broncos.
Leading off for the Broncos, the second baseman, Clay Bowman.
First pitch taken for a ball. Trent fires. This one's on the inside corner. Count evens at 1-1. Best evening we've had for baseball in some time. Here's a pitch, breaking ball. Got him. Just grazed him, and so Bowman trots on down to first base to lead it off here in the second inning. Hit by a pitch ball.
Jay Siegel.
That brings up the third baseman, Jay Siegel. Here's a pitch swung on. This will be in the gap out there in the left center field. And Carson Scott all the way around retrieves the ball. Here's the throw. Hits the relay, but not in time. And the Broncos tie it up here with a two-base hit. Jay Siegel looked like he got pretty much the meat of the bat on that one and found the hole out there. So tie ball game at 1.
Cole Bridge.
All right, that brings up Cole Bridge, the right fielder. Cole wearing the red undershirt here, giving a little more of the old Lafayette Jeff colors there with the black and red. Got a little bit too much black showing out of the dugout over here, it looks like, and plate umpire Haas over to scoot the boys back in. No balls, 1 strike. Trent fires, and this one swung on and missed. Another great breaking ball there. So quickly ahead on the count here as Bridge swings and misses, and Trent needing it out right here. Here it is, and it's a duplicate pitch, and Bridge goes down swinging for out number 1.
Center fielder Connor Hamilton.
Brings up Connor Hamilton, the center fielder.
What happened here?
Long pause by Trent. Pitch to the left-hander is down and away. Partly cloudy evening, the sun in and out here. Next pitch right there. Breaking ball got the outer half of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 down. Top half of inning number 2 and a tie ball game. Here's the pitch swung on, and this will be fouled off to the left side. So Johnson ahead on the count here. A ball and 2 strikes. This one's up high. 2 balls, 2 strike. Trent comes in with an ERA of .755, a whip of .734. So here's a pitch. He went, and that'll be strike 3. Breaking ball down and in really tied Hamilton up. So Trent, after giving up a run, comes up back with 2 strikeouts. So 2 down for the pitcher, Riley Potts. Here's a pitch. Oh, it sure looked like he went there, but I tell you, this is, again, this is a play that I wish they would absolutely outlaw, because that man out there in front cannot see any better than the guy behind the plate. When you got 4, there's a nice breaking ball right there, and the count's even. 1 ball, 1 strike. You got an umpire down that first baseline. You got an umpire down the third baseline. You can call those check swings. That man out in front cannot see that play. And I believe he did go, but here's a ground ball to short. Got the big hop out there. On to first is Abney, and that retires the Broncos here in the top half of the second inning.
He will have to shut down real quick. In our video, it was on lockup on here real quick. And we'll get right back on. We'll get back on the air real quick.
All right.
X everything out. Yep, X everything out now. Yeah, quit stream. Yeah. Quit stream. It's not here.
Overboard.
There we go.
Okay, back in action here. Bottom half of inning number 2. We're tied 1-1 as Josh Blackburn comes to the plate. He's got a count of 1 ball, 2 strikes. Potts to the plate. Here's a ground ball. Third baseman over. The shortstop will try to make a play, but he drops the ball. That'll go as an error.
Okay, sorry guys. We're running back on the ear, so we had a problem with the video. We just found out what we're doing.
The designated hitter, Cale Winderland.
All right, that brings up the DH, Cale Winderland now. Here's a pitch. This is bunted and almost in the air, and actually Potts had a busy out at second base, but got a little excited and ended up making the out at first base. So that'll go as a sacrifice for Cale Winderland.
I think the pitch, he had no idea what he's going for. He just looked at the first.
That we might mention that Cale was batting for the catcher, Owen Bennett. All right, Will Kellerman steps in now. Runner in scoring position, second base, 1 down. Here's the first pitch to Kellerman outside. Cade Fitzwater, shortstop on deck. Here's the next pitch, and that one's away also. So Will ahead on the count. 2 balls, no strikes. Blackburn with good speed at second base. Just a relatively short leadoff, however. Here's the pitch, swung on and fouled back into the net. Count goes to 2-1. Will hitting out of the number 8 slot here this evening. Here's a ball off the end of the bat, shortstop back and under it, and easily brings that one in for out number 2.
Well, we want to say something about Fitzwater. He's been out for 4-6 weeks. He had a bad hand, fingers got blooded right before the home game started. So we want to say welcome back to Cade Fitzwater.
Yeah, I think maybe I didn't give him credit for the put out or the assist on the put out earlier. Used to seeing another shortstop. Here's a ground ball to shortstop. Hit slowly. Fitzwater down. Wow, nice gun that time of the shortstop to nail Cade at first base. So the Athenians, with an early threat, cannot finish it off, and the score after 2 remains the Bronchos 1 and the Athenians 1. The line score, and I'm going to change the line score on mine. The Broncos is going to have to take 2 errors, so it would be 1 run on 1 hit and 2 errors for Lafayette Jeff, and for your Athenians, 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors.
Also, we'll be looking forward tomorrow for Stoutmock game. And there's going to be another coffin again for 2 other Stoutmock. So we're looking for that.
Oh, we might mention the Athenians are pretty much, at this point, in a very good position as they're undefeated in conference play. They're 8-0, and they're, I think, maybe two other teams that they trail or lead by 2 games. So they got a two-game margin. One of those teams is Danville, and the other is the North Montgomery Chargers. And, of course, the Athenians have already beaten Danville 1-ball game. They'll have 2 to play here in next week, I guess it would be. And so we've got things tightening up here in the conference play, but the Athenians are really in command as far as first place right now.
Oh, yeah.
South Bluff Mounties in a big Sagamore Athletic Conference and Montgomery County matchup.
Well, the Broncos will have 9-1-2 coming to the plate.
Nick Ewell.
Nick Ewell, the first baseman, leads it off for Lafayette. Trent on for his 3rd inning of work. First pitch down just a little bit low with a fastball. Chase Dow in on the grass at 3rd. Here's a ground ball to 2nd. Abney boots that one. So that's going to go as an E4. I don't know. He looked like he didn't quite get squared on that ball, and ball rolled up his arm. So unfortunate error there when you have it anytime, but when it's on the leadoff batter, it's maybe a little more harmful. Well, that'll turn the batting order over back to the leadoff hitter, Nick McCalmont. He squares the bunt. He bunts, and it's foul on the right side. Will Kellerman hanging back on that one. So apparently we were leaving Trent to come over and get the line that time.
I saw the catcher was going for it and look at it, and he had to go for it.
Trent on to first base. Just kind of a show-me type throw that time. Ewell with a fairly short lead at first base. Here's the pitch. This is taken for a ball outside. Good breaking pitch that time. Trent kind of wanting to know where that one was, and apparently just off the corner. Good-looking pitch. Count even, 1 ball, 1 strike. Throw over, Ewell back in time. Like those left-handed first basemen, they have a way of getting the tag on quicker. Here's a pitch way up high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Nobody out here in the top of the 3rd inning in a tie ball game. Here's a pitch, and this one is in there for a strike. Throw to first, but runner back in time. Bennett thought maybe he had a little something there, but runner on his toes down there, and play was not close.
It's
2 strikes.
I think Owen's trying to look for it and get through it back to the first every time they try to get him out.
Here's again the throw over. With 2 strikes, we would expect for the batter now to be swinging away. McCalmont grounded out to the second baseman his first at bat. Again the throw over. Trent keeping it close. Runner going. Here's the pitch taken for strike 3. Throw will not be in time as the runner got a great break that time. Really no chance for Bennett that time. So McCalmont goes down.
The shortstop, Justin Walker.
Out number 1, Justin Walker, the shortstop, steps in. Left-handed hitter. Trent with the breaking ball right there. Trent whirls the third base side. Nothing showing at second base. Keeps the ball in hand. Athenian outfield playing fairly shallow. Here's a pitch. Here's a ball taken to the left side. Ball is going to be fouled, but a good chase over there, coming just a little bit short out there.
You gotta be smart now.
Trent ahead on the count. 0-2. Here's a ball fouled onto the right side this time. Count remains 0-2. Here's a line shot to right field. That'll be to Caden Jones, who fires it right back in. Here's the ball that gets loose, and that is going to score a run for the Broncos. And a little bit of sloppy play there, quite frankly. Will's got to keep that ball in front of him, but on the other hand, Caden really didn't give him a very good ball to handle. And since the ball did hit the ground, the error on that play goes to Caden Jones. So, totally unearned run that time. So the Broncos take a 2-1 lead. Here's the first pitch in there for a strike. Chandler Ferguson is the designated hitter. He swings and fouls a high fastball back to the net. So Trent ahead on the count, 0-2. An errant throw, getting loose and allowing the run to score, and also allowing Walker to get on to second. Here's a breaking ball for strike 3. Pretty pitch that time.
We got to call timeout. Coach Rose is going out to the pitching mound.
Well, that brings up Clay Bowman, and he was hit by a pitch his first at bat. Bowman comes in hitting .243.
I just want to let you know we are changing pitches right now.
Yeah.
Pate Abbott is pitching now.
Well, I think that's strictly a pitch count deal there. Trying to keep Trent, eligible for the games coming up later in the week. Principally, obviously, the games that we really call most important. So we have conference games coming up Tuesday and Thursday. I don't know what the pitch count is. I did not attempt to try to keep pitch count tonight, but it's a fairly low pitch count at this point.
No, we don't. We'll be looking forward to the conference coming up next week. It's at North Montgomery coming up. And North Montgomery gets to play here on Saturday. They play Whiteland. And I didn't say here that score. We don't know what the score was. I think North got good play a little bit Saturday. Did a Wentland had a good pitch hit a couple guys in Wentland that play. So we're going to be on the air tomorrow night for South. Then,
ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? The new pitcher.
So we'll be having a webcast on Sentinel time and for the second game after the first game, Sentinel.
Let's set the infield for you here. Trent comes off the hill and over at Third base still chased down, but Trent goes to shortstop, and Fitzwater now moves over from shortstop to second base. Here's the first pitch in there for a strike to Clay Bowman. Again, Bowman was hit by a pitch ball and scored the first run for the Broncos. Here's a breaking ball. It's way outside. Bowman swings and misses. So Abney ahead on the count, 0-2. Here's another breaker, and that's strike 3. So 3 down, but the Broncos come up with one more run, and they take a 2-1 lead after 2.5 innings of play. Well, we've had a few errors, and our scoreboard. I don't want to criticize our scoreboard, but they've been pretty lenient. Obviously, the ball that Abney could not field was an error. But just as obvious was the fact that the throw, because the runner was stopped at third, he wasn't even thinking about coming home, and we let the ball get away. Again, maybe not a terrible throw, but when you get the ball on the cutoff in that kind of position, it hits the ground, and really was a very, very tough hop. The thing that Will has to do, Will has to block the ball and keep it in front of him, and nobody comes on him. But, one of those things, and we give up an unearned run there. So Athenians trail at 2-1 after 2.5. Well, Potts is on for his third inning of work now. Athenians got their work cut out for them. We go to the top of the batting order, and Trent Johnson, his second trip. Trent grounded to third his first time.
Athenians, the shortstop, Trent Johnson.
Here's a pitch on the inner half of the plate for strike 1. Trent coming into the ball game, hitting it at a .424 clip. Here's the next pitch is up. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the next pitch. Looked like it might have been a little bit tied, but he gets the inside corner call. So Trent down on the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's a high fastball fouled back. Count remains 1-2. Carson Scott on deck. And Caden Jones in the hole. That was a scoring combination for the Athenians in the first inning. Here's a ball. Oh! That ball caught the glove. A line shot. I mean, a total seed. Back to the pitcher, and the ball just happened to find the glove.
The left fielder, Carson.
Like when he just hit harder right there, right back to the pitcher.
So Carson Scott with a bunt base hit the first time up and advanced to second when the ball got loose at first base. So Carson scoring the first Athenian and the only Athenian run to this point in time. It's a pitch, this taken up high. Well, Trent's due to get a bloop hit next time after that seed. Here's a swing and a miss on a pitch that might have been just off the corner. The ball was actually missed off the end of the bat. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 down, bottom half of 3. Here's a pitch that's inside. For a second, umpire Darren Haas lost the position of that ball, and the catcher had it all the time.
Yep. But he threw the ball back to the dugout, and it's got mud on it, that ball.
All right, everybody ready to go again. Here's the 2-1 on the way. This ball's outside. So Scott ahead on the count now, 3-1. Athenians in need of a base runner. Here's the pitch. This one's ball 4. So runner aboard. That'll bring up the big right fielder, Caden Jones.
The right fielder, Caden Jones.
So we mentioned earlier, Caden leading the team in batting average with a .528 average. Speed on the bases. Here's a pitch taken outside. A little bit surprising. Trent's still looking for his first home run of the year. This might be the proper time to do one. Plenty of power. There's a pitch swung on, fouled.
Straight back to the football field. Right now, the softball score is a 5-0. It's Central Cats in the lead.
Got not a big lead. Here's a pitch. This is line foul and out of play as it again heads toward the football field. Pitching Jones away, and what he's hitting so far is away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's a pitch. This one's down, and the count evens at 2-2. Here's a pitch swung on a miss, but Caden seeing the ball going into the dirt, takes off running, but with first base occupied and less than 2 down, he is out.
The third baseman, Chase Dowell.
So Jones strikes out swinging for the second out of the inning. That brings on Chase Dowell. Chase struck out his first time. He got caught looking at a fastball on the outside part of the plate. Here's a pitch down.
For your obedience, the center fielder, number 10, Lauren Kellerman.
Here's a swing and a miss.
Hey, relax. Hit the ball.
Ball was up a little bit. Probably would have been better to leave that one alone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carson Scott, short lead at first. Here's the pitch. This is taken for a strike. That was the same one that he struck out on the first time. Chase does not appear to be really picking that ball up well this evening. Ball got on top of him before he was ready to pull the trigger. There's a 1-2. Swung on and missed. So the last 2 hitters go down swinging.
No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left.
So Athenians slow with the bats this evening so far, and at the end of 3 full innings of play, they trail this game by a score of 2-1. Very much a ball game, though, and the line score reads for the Broncos from Lafayette Jefferson, 2 runs on 2 hits, and we'll charge them with 1 error. And your Athenians had 1 run on 2 hits and 2 errors. And the sun's going in. It's getting later in the evening, and I can feel the temperature dropping just a little bit. What do you got on the temperature there, Justin? Well, it still says about 63. I don't believe it's really that warm, but maybe it's just the wind picking up a little bit here. Seems like it's cooled down. The sun has gone in as we go to inning number 4.
But there is a chance of rain coming tonight. Yeah.
Chance of rain tonight and tomorrow, so we're maybe a little iffy on the game for tomorrow evening, but hopefully the weather will give us a break. Okay, for the Broncos, Jay Siegel steps in. Siegel doubled the first time. Here's a pitch on the inside corner. Big breaking ball that time. Siegel jumps away from the plate. The ball caught the inside corner. Payton fires again. Here's a ball off the fist, but he gets it into the gap out there. Didn't find the meat of the bat, but got enough to get the ball over the infield and good for a base hit. So Siegel goes 2 for 2 now in the ball game.
The right fielder, Cole Bridge.
I'll bring up the right fielder, Bridge. Bridge struck out his first at bat. Might be looking for a bunt here, although a lot of coaches don't like to bunt in the bottom of the order in this kind of situation. Runner going. Here's the throw down. He's going to beat it. And again, a really good jump that time. And Owen really just did not have much of a chance to throw the man out. So, threat for the Broncos here in the top half of the 4th inning. Here's the breaking ball, stays up. Count evens, 1 ball, 1 strike.
One guy with Peyton Abbott, he did not know which ball going. He just got his head down quick.
Here's a pitch way inside. Bridge dances out of the way. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bridge and Hamilton coming up next. Both struck out their first time up. Here's a pitch, stays high, so Abney falls behind 3 balls and 1 strike.
Back, get him now.
Siegel away from second. Here's a pitch swung on a miss. Breaking ball got in under the hands that time. So a full count now. Abney working fast. Here's a pitch swung on and missed. Again, he fed him the big breaker.
I guess it's softball to get the crowds up over here. I want to see what's the score.
The center fielder, Connor Hamilton.
Right now, it's Crawfordsville 3 and Central Catholic 5, and there's got a base on the run on now.
All right. Well, Hamilton comes to the plate and takes a strike. Again, Hamilton struck out his last at bat. He is a center fielder for the Broncos. Here's the pitch. This one's taken inside. Count evens, 1 ball, 1 strike.
It must be with the girls softball had a run on the first and third, or they're trying to catch up the score.
Here's fastball, stays away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Looks like the wind has really dropped down all of a sudden. Flags limp in the outfield. Here's a pitch. The runner going to third. And he'll have to go back to second as the pitch comes in and gets a piece of Hamilton. So the Broncos now with men on first and second and one down.
The pitcher, Riley Potts.
Fitzwater came up and talked to Pace. He's giving a little bit more calm down for pitch.
Well, Athenians looking for the kind ground ball here. They want something they can turn two with. Riley Potts, the pitcher, comes to the plate for the Broncos. Here's the pitch. This line back off of Abney. Cannot make a play. Out goes a base hit. Ball hit hard. Very similar, although not hit as hard as the ball that Trent Johnson hit earlier, but ball hit in a little bit different position and caught Abney in a more or less a sideways position. So couldn't handle it.
What happened is Peyton, he just like hit it right his arm, but he's not that hurt.
The first baseman, Nick Ewell.
Okay, we got a pinch hitter here. This is Nico Martin coming in. He's hitting for Ewell. Takes the first pitch as a strike. Left-handed hitter.
The courtesy runner at first base is number 3, Nico Martin.
Here's a ground ball. That ball. It's a runner. All runners go back as Athenians catch a bit of a break there. We might have stopped the ball out there, but a run was going to score even if we'd have knocked the ball down. So, learning process for a young man there who ran into the ball.
It must be the player who can not know where the ball goes before they hit themselves or something like that.
First pitch is in there for a strike to McCallum. Back to the top of the batting order. Next pitch in there for a strike. So Abney quickly ahead, 0-2. Base is still loaded now. Peyton needing another out to get out of this jam. And the pitch. Here's a ball through for a base hit. Quickly in and to the plate. This is a good throw but we can't handle it. Bennett doesn't know where the ball is, and now he picks it up, and runners advance. So tough play there. Pretty good throw at the plate, to the plate, but not in time, and the Broncos tack on a couple more.
The shortstop, Justin Walker.
I would admit it's more what he's been doing playing catching. He knows what he's doing.
Here's the pitch, and that one's there. Next pitch in there for a strike. So again, Abney ahead on the count now. 0-2. Pitch is up high. One ball, two strikes, two down. This one's off the corner. Count evens 2-2. Deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Athenians need an out, or they let this one get away. They're down by 4 here. Here's a pitch. One popped up. Bennett coming back to the screen, but it'll be out of play as it goes into the bleachers on the third base side. No fans making an attempt to make a play on that one.
Nope.
Count remains 2-2. Pitch up high. Here's a swing and a miss, strike 3. So that'll end the inning as Walker goes down swinging.
The Broncos score 3 runs on 2 hits, aided by 1 error, and leave 2.
Lately, he had no fans. Lately, with pop out fly, he comes to the back side and no one don't want to catch the ball. They don't want to get hit. So the next time when you come back and you can get the gloves, you can catch really good. Because we have the scores over this for softball is 4-5. They are still down 1 behind.
Yeah, anybody's game. Well, Athenian bats need to get busy here. We go down there. Athenians with only 2 hits in the ball game, but actually the Broncos only have 3. But Athenians with 3 big errors on the board, in really a couple of other kind of sloppy plays to go along with it, quite frankly. So Athenians defense not what it needs to be at this point in the ball game. We still have a ball game, only down by 4. Peyton Abney lead it off here in the bottom half of the 4th, followed by Blackburn and Wendelin. Athenians standing at 16-3 on the season, trying to avoid back-to-back losses for the first time this season. All right, Abney's in and ready to go. Potts to the plate, right down the middle on a fastball. Here's a ball popped up.
Popped up, just right back straight behind here. Football straight to this end.
No balls, 2 strikes. Peyton popped out to the first baseman, his first at bat. Here's a pitch fouled back to the net. Abney comes in with a 169 batting average. Young man capable of a little better at-bats than that. Here's a fly ball to center field. Pretty well hit, but he got a little bit out on the end of the bat, and the center fielder camps under it for out number 1. So that brings up Josh Blackburn.
The center fielder, Josh Blackburn.
Coach Frodes looking for offense. Hasn't had a lot here in this last game and a half. There's a pitch. Ground ball. Shortstop over toward the hole. Up with it, the long throw. That was a nice play that time. Shortstop on the go. Fields the ball. Quick release on the money. So 6-3 in your scorebook and 2 down for the Athenians here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Right now we got a bullpen. Our Crawfordsville, Katie Jones is a bullpen right now.
The DH, Cale Wendelin stepping in. Cale with a sacrifice bunt first time. Pitch taken up. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's one right down the middle. 2 balls, 1 strike. Athenians needing base runners any way they can get them. Here's a pitch that's up. 3-1. Ball 4. This one comes in high. So runner aboard. Brings up Will Kellerman. Will with a soft line drive to the shortstop his first time. Here's a strike. Will look to be taking all the way on that one. Wendland with a short lead at first. Here's a breaking ball that hangs way high. Here's a pitch swung on and missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kellerman batting with 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th. Pitch swung on, fouled off to the left side. Here's a pitch. That ball's outside. Potts wanting that pitch, but that ball was off the plate, and the count goes even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I've got 4. Yes. Yes, the scoreboard somehow got 5. Here's a ball swung on, foul back. Scoreboard registered 5 runs, and
should have been a 4-1.
I'm going to say my scorebook does say 4. I didn't make a point of that because I thought the scoreboard would change, but it hasn't. So Coach Bean is on his way to the press box to get that correction made.
Yep.
Yeah, Athenians only down 3 here. Here's a pitch. Swung on it. There's a ball right to the left fielder. Well hit by Will, but the line was too kind to the Broncos.
No runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 left.
So the correction being made at the end of 4 full innings of play. It's your Athenians with 1 run, 2 hits, and 3 errors. And the Broncos with 4 runs on 3 hits, and I'm going to serve them up another error. They should have 2 errors on the board.
There we go. Now we got the 4.
Well,
4-1 up here on the scoreboard.
You can see on my scorebook here that
I know what you got right here. It's not a 5-1.
Well,
up there.
It got to be a little bit of a merry-go-round in that one situation. I can understand how you might make a mistake.
Yep.
As we let a ball get kind of a little bit loose there and gave up some extra bases. And anyway, it is a 4-1 ball game, but still game very much in hand if the Athenians can get the bats going. And first order of business now is to keep the Broncos right where they are with 4 on the board. Well, it'll be 3, 4, and 5 for the Broncos here as we go to the 5th inning. Chandler Ferguson, the DH, comes up first, and he has struck out twice. That's kind of scary. The guy batting in the number 3 slot
the designated hitter, Chandler
and the
Ferguson.
DH, you think that guy must be there because he can hit, so we need to not take him lightly just because he struck out twice. Here's a pitch. Here's a breaking ball. It hangs inside. Here's the ball taken to left field. Over. It cannot quite get to it. So ball falls in front of Carson Scott out there, but that ball just a little bit off the end of the bat and didn't really carry out there far enough. So Ferguson on with his first base hit.
Look at we got the pitch runner going up there.
Yeah, number 13, is it?
Yep.
Number 13 on the roster is not on the roster, so we'll see if David can come up with a name.
He looks like he's on edge.
All right, Bowman at the plate for the. Here's a throw on to first base for the Broncos, and Bowman has been hit with a pitch and then struck out his second at bat. This is another hit batter, and
he tipped it on the plate.
All right. Home plate umpire Darren Haas catches him with an elbow out over the. Let's see what the pitch is recorded as. He records it as a ball, so the pitch was not in the strike zone itself. Here's a runner going. He swung on and missed, but no play for Bennett as the ball is in the dirt. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the next pitch just off the corner as Abney cut loose with a pretty good fastball. Here's a pitch gets away from Bennett as it's outside, and so on down to third base is the runner.
Well, here's the scores over here softball right now. It's 6-5. It's Crawfordsville softball. It's a lead to Central Catholic.
Here's a ball taken deep to left center field. Ball cut off out there, and the throw in will hold Bowman to a single, but he drives in run number 5, and so now the 5 is for real up there.
Coach going into the mouse. I think the girls softball, they're trying to come back and win this game tonight in Central Catholic. And also they had the Finn on there. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strikeouts so far on the pitching count.
Caden Jones in from right field now. Apparently will go to the mound. So we'll do a little reset here and see what we do with this situation as Abney, for the time being, comes off the field.
Hey, Fishwater is going to the outfielder.
Yep, that we do know. We don't know which one he's going to go to. Yeah,
he's going to go to left.
Well, he should go to right field, I would think, but let's wait and see.
And then I think Pay Abbey is going to go second.
So left-hander Caden Jones on to try to put out the fire here. A 5-1 ball game as we're in the top half of the 5th inning. The Athenians have been out hit 6-2, and they trail by a 5-1 score.
I think Lafayette Jeff has a better hit to the outfielder, and they have a couple good ball players and been playing a lot in there.
Well, here's a little information. I'll tell you what. Let's do a little history here. Since pardon me. Since 2004-2005 season, the Lafayette Jefferson Broncos have played the Athenians 8 times, and unfortunately for the Athenians, Lafayette Jeff has won 7.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention?
The last game, Crawfordsville played at Lafayette. They lost the game to the Broncos 9-8. I kind of remember that one. And then the last time was in April 16th, 2007, that the game was played here at Crawfordsville, and the Athenians lost that game by a 7-2 score. And the note here says the Athenians made 5 errors in that ball game.
I remember that.
We've got 3. Let's hope we don't get 5 this ball game. All right, here we go with Jake Siegel, the third baseman, stepping in for the Broncos. Runner at first base is Bowman. Here's the pitch, and that one sails away. Caden Jones, a young man who has pretty good stuff. His main problem is dealing with command and getting the ball over the plate. Here's a ball taking to left field.
Hits way up there.
He's there.
He got the ball.
Nice run out there by Carson Scott, and caught that ball in foul territory for out number 1. That brings up Cole Bridge, the right fielder.
The right fielder, Cole Bridge.
So 1 down with the runner at first base. Jones out of the stretch. Runner's going. He's got him picked off. If we can get it to second in time. He hit the runner. And that is a tough play for a first baseman. We didn't really get the ball to him as quickly as we needed to. Caden made the right play, but didn't catch him breaking quite soon enough, and made a tough throw for Will. So that'll go down as a stolen base. So pitch in there for a strike. We got a balk out there. I think Caden caught the runner, was really jumping around out there and distracted Caden a little bit. And so that'll go as a balk, and the runner advancing to third base. So that's one of those tough ones, a young man that hasn't really pitched all that much. Here's a breaking ball. Maybe just a little bit too high. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 down. Athenian infield in. Chase Dow, third. Here's a swing and a miss. Trent Johnson at short. Abney at second. Will Kellerman, your first baseman. All in on the grass. Count of 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jones with the signal. Now the pitch. Swung on ground to Will Kellerman at first. Bobbles the ball. Keeps it right there, though, and gets the tag out for out number 2. So Bridge goes out to first base unassisted. That's out number 2. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Connor Hamilton. Hamilton struck out his first at bat, hit with the pitch his second time up.
Yep.
Here's the left-hander's delivery. Good fastball in the outer half. Scoreboard now correctly reading 5-1. Here's the pitch, and this is down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's a ground ball outside the line down the third base side. So Jones ahead, 1-2 here. Here's a fastball. Bennett dives outside to keep that one in front. Good awareness there. Runner at third base. The catcher has to become a little bit different animal in there. Here's a pitch grounded left side. Shortstop on the backhand. Long throw. Out. Trent Johnson with a fine play in the throw. The Bronco coach at third base not quite believing it. Good play that time by Trent on a very close call at first base. So that'll go down 6-3 and out number 3. But the Broncos tack on one more, and after 4 1/2, lead it by a score of 5-1.
Oh, look like we got a softball score right now. It's just softballs right now.
Tie ball game over there on the softball field. All right.
180. Top of the 6th right now.
Top of the 6th. Well, Athenians trying to put 2 wins together. Their last ball game, I believe, was against North Putnam with a win in that game.
Well, the girls softball team, they beat the North Putnam. The good ball game they play. I think it's the girls softball. Their sectional's about coming up pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's next week. They're playing at Twilight Sectional.
Well, Potts still on the mound for the Broncos as he's kind of limited the Athenians on their offense with only 2 hits and 1 run on the board. So Athenian bats need to come alive. And we're going to start out with 9-1-2 here, and hopefully many more. Cade Fitzwater will be extended. Well, we were going to change that because we now go with.
Okay, now we have a hitting bat today. Is Brandon down and stepping up.
Well, but this is Brandon's first time at the plate.
The pinch hitter for Crawfordsville is number 2, Brendan Dowell.
So Brendan steps in. Caden, his only at bat, grounded out to short. Here's the pitch taken outside, ball 1. Here's the next pitch up and in. So Dow ahead on the count, 2 balls, no strike. Might be looking at one right here. And he does, and it's right there for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the next pitch. This is taken for a strike. Brennan actually shortened up with the bat as if he might bunt, but then appeared to be taking all the way. So a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Potts delivers. Here's a ball taken to the right side. First baseman over with room and has it for out number 1. So Dow goes down F3 and 1 down for Trent Johnson.
The shortstop, Trent Johnson.
Trent grounded to third, his first at bat, and then hit a line shot. And I mean, it got back right now. And I think as I actually commented on that, it was a case where the ball found the glove. So Trent 0 for 2, so he is due. Here's a ball taken to the right side. Right fielder broke back. Second baseman, right fielder, second baseman can't get it. Trent hustling all the way. Goes into second base, sliding. And that'll be a 2-base hit. The right fielder on that play just did not pick up the ball at all. And I'm not sure he could have got there anyway, but he broke back on the ball. The second baseman really didn't offer real strong early, and he ended up getting a glove on the ball, but the Athenians needed that one, and Trent on with a two-base hit.
I would say with the ball was just a little bit wind, it just pushed a little bit right there and just dropped it.
Here's Carson Scott taking a ball down. Coach Froge giving the take it easy sign to Trent out there, trailing by 4 here in the bottom of the 5th. Here's a ball that gets loose, and Trent will jog on down to third base. So a threat here with a man on third and one down.
The first baseman, batting over.
Here's a pitch. That's a strike. Fastball right at the knees. Here's a 1-1. He bunts. That's a fair ball. He's going to make it, and Trent's going to score. Good bunt. Good coordinated basing running there. Trent picked that one up, but didn't really appear to be a total squeeze. But anyway, there's a run for the Athenians, much needed, and a 5-2 ball game now.
I think he did bunt twice pretty good on that one.
Well, I tell you what, that was his second bunt hit, so
yeah,
young man can run. That doesn't hurt him. Here he goes, too, and no chance for the catcher. Wagner took one look at second base and says, no, I'll just hold on to that one. So a stolen base for Scott. Caden Jones, a big spot here. Base hit here gets the Athenians right back in it. Here's the pitch. This is taken foul, and that's about the third or fourth ball at least that he sent out that direction. So Caden just not really able to get him squared up so far today. He did get a good double, though, his first at bat. Caden with a double his first at bat and strike out his second time. Here's a ball again going out of the left side. So I'm not sure. He's maybe pulling off just a little bit, but not really able to square the ball up. So 0-2. Caden Jones, 1-2 is the count. Scoreboard now corrects it. Here's the pitch. This is way outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Ball guy with Kitty Jones hit the ball way over here, and it hit the school bus over there.
Chase now on deck. Pitcher turns the third base side, looks back at second. Nobody at home there except for Scott. Actually, Carson's got a lot of room to wander out there. Now the second baseman comes over just a little bit, kind of a tokel. Here's a ground ball right to the second baseman. On to first for out number 2. Caden hit the ball pretty squarely, but right to the second baseman. Carson Scott moves on to third base. Chase Dowell stands in, struck out looking his first time, struck out swinging his second time. So hopefully Chase is due here. He's a .345 hitter, and time to turn it on. Here's a pitch taken up and in. Peyton Abney waiting to hit. Hopefully he can get up here in the 5th inning. Here's a ball swung on foul back, and Chase appeared to be way late on that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's a swing and a miss as he got a ball in on his hands. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Chase Dow needing to put the bat on the ball here. Breaking ball, swung on and missed. So Chase with a hat trick here.
The Athenians score 1 run on 2 hits. No errors. They lead 1.
Having a tough day. At the end of 5 full innings of play, it's your Athenians 2 runs on 4 hits and 3 errors, and the Lafayette Jefferson Broncos 5 runs, 6 hits, and 2 errors. Scoreboard showing only 1, but take my word for it, they've got 2.
Woodcross and softball is still in tie game. It's the top of 7.
Is a burning flame, and it makes a fire to rain. My wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, down, down.
Bennett's throw down, and we're about ready to go here to the top of the 6th inning. Broncos will lead off with their pitcher.
Leading off for the Broncos, the pitcher, Riley Potts.
Okay, it looks like Damien Riddle is coming in to home plate today.
Yeah, he is. Riddle in for Bennett behind the plate. So, battery of Jones and Riddle now as we go to the 6th
The
inning.
new catcher for Crawfordsville is number 19, Sammy Riddle.
Riley Potts to the plate. He's grounded out to shortstop and then got a base hit. 1 for 2. Here's the fastball just a little bit inside. Athenians got a run back, so we need to make sure we keep the Broncos right at that 5. Next pitch is a little bit too high. So 2-0. Here's a pitch foul off into the screen on the right side. Good fastball, got in on the hands of Potts. Here's the next pitch. This one's a streamer fouled off to the right side. Now to play.
Just right outside the top of the division dugout.
Looking at Potts here, he's really not shown to be a strong hitter so far this season. And he takes this pitch apparently down, and so the count goes to 3-2. Potts coming in. Actually, I guess this did not maybe count their last ball game, but 188 hitter. Here's a strike 3 right on the inside corner. Nice pitch by Caden Jones there. Potts get caught looking.
The first baseman, Nick Ewell.
All right, we're back to Ewell hitting here, and he is actually 0 for 1.
16's good. 24's
Okay. That would have hit my pit a while ago.
Yeah. I was looking.
Nick McCalmont.
They keep the same. Okay. Well, Ewell takes first base on the hit batter. That brings up the top of the batting order in Nick McCalmont. He's the left fielder. Here's the pitch, and this is in there for a strike. Runner at first with 1 down. Here's the throw to first. Runner back in time, and Will had to dive for that one.
Right now, the Athena bullpen is Cam Stoner is getting warmed up right now, and I think she's going to be looking forward right here.
Okay. Yep, that's Cam down there, all right. I'm talking about Cam and quite a long time ago, I think it had an injury, and here's a runner going. Here's a throw down. Runner is there. And so another stolen base, and I've lost track right now, but the Broncos have been making a habit of stealing second base. Here's a pitch way inside. Somehow it got past McCalmont. Count evens at 2-2.
Yeah, we got a scores over here, softball, 9-6. The Citrus Cats to the lead.
Here's a ball fouled off onto the softball field, it appears. Count remains 2-2. Well, the stolen base, obviously it's always good to get another base if you're on offense, but in this case it takes that double play away also. Here's a throw to second base. A nice wheel on the first base side by the left-hander, and a good accurate throw back there. Runner back in time, but it was a kind of a good warning throw there. Here's a pitch. Swung on and missed. So McCalmont, for the second time today, goes down swinging. That's out number 2. That'll bring up Justin Walker, the shortstop. Walker on the day is 1 for 3. Caden turns and looks back at second base, but no Athenian there to throw to. Here's a pitch up and away, ball 1. Sun coming out real strong here once again. Here's a pitch, like we like to say, that's one he can't hit because it was all the way behind him. 2 balls, no strikes. Caden Jones trying to record the third out here in the top of the 6th. Here's a pitch taken, and that's going to drop. Boy, I tell you, they've hit that slot about 3 or 4 times, and ball not hit terrifically hard, but Walker will end up sliding headfirst into second base for a double, and that'll take another Broncos score on there, and it is a 6-2 ball game.
Number 13 is stepping into play now.
The pitch hitter is number 13.
Well, PA announcer Dave Raynard's the same as mine. We can both see 13, but we don't have a number on the roster, 13. Here's a ball to the shortstop, who's up with it on to first base for out number 3. So the Broncos in the inning come up with another run.
The Broncos score 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and leave 1.
End of 5 1/2. Lafayette Jeff 6 and your Athenians 2.
The softball is still in its top is at 7, and the 9 is still 1 out. And I think the Athenians are trying to come back after the bottom of the 7 to see what happens and see them get more runs.
Okay, Athenians need them base runners. We're going to start with Peyton Abney. And that means it's 5, 6, and 7 coming to the plate for the Athenians.
Looked like Lafayette Jeff, he got a game ball in their dugout and never returned back.
Well, it's almost totally calm here now. The wind is virtually gone away here. And we haven't had many games played without the wind blowing pretty hard this year.
Yeah.
So, new experience here. Well, Peyton Abney, we mentioned earlier, having a little trouble with the bat this season, only hitting at 169 clip, so we got to think he's got a lot of offense left in him. He needs to get it going. Blackburn waiting on deck. Here's the first pitch, and this is taken foul down the left side. Got out in front of that one a little bit and puts that on the roof out there.
Hit down in by the fan, and it's just roll right there.
0-1. Next pitch swung on and fouled back to the net. Peyton behind on the count, 0-2. Coach Frode's over there visiting with the Athenian dugout a little bit. Now heads out towards the coaching box. Here's a pitch outside. We always like to say we're never sure that Coach Frodes knows where the coaching box really is.
Yep.
Here's the pitch taken for strike 3, and well, we just got frozen on that one. You gotta pull the trigger. You get 2 strikes. Got to protect up there. Not the first time that's happened today. We've got to credit Potts, who's been very effective. Riley Potts, a senior for Lafayette Jeff, pitching a fine ball game, giving up only 4 hits. Here's a pitch that's down and in. Josh Blackburn 0 for 2 on the day. He actually got on first base when the shortstop committed an error, and he hit to the shortstop next time, and he made the play. So 0 for 2. He fouls that one back to the screen, and the count's even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's a line drive base hit. That's what we like to see. Josh Blackburn squared that one up real good. So the Athenians down by 4 need to kind of keep that kind of thing going.
It really is on the plate.
Yeah, we're going to have Sammy Riddle stepping in here. He's hitting
The catcher, Sammy Riddle.
out of the DH spot, and of course the DH was actually hitting for the starting catcher, Owen Bennett. Here's the pitch, and that almost hit him. One ball, no strikes. Short lead at first base. Here's the pitch. This is right down the middle for a strike.
Mm-hmm.
Potts has only issued 1 base on ball, so he's really been effective. Here's a swing and a miss. A 1-2 on Sammy Riddle.
Good job, Sammy. Be aggressive here. Hey, man, see, split it. Let's go 1-9. Come on, back. Move him around.
Here's the throw over to first base. It's a token throw. Here's the pitch. Swung on, foul back to the screen. Potts with, as we mentioned, only the one walk, and he has 5 strikeouts on the day. Pitching this one. Got him.
He got him on the back.
I'd like to see Sammy be a little bit quicker to turn and start the first base on there.
He got hit.
No, he did indeed.
He got hit by pitch in the Chevy game a couple weeks ago. And it hit right in his elbow. And so they gave him a walk off for a little bit so he seemed time. Now this one is K.O. McCarty. He is going to the first pitch runner for first baseman. He also is a freshman.
Yes, he is.
K.O. is a freshman this year. He also is a pitching shortstop, and that's what he did playing.
All right, Will Kellerman stepping in. A little bit of a mini rally started here by the Athenians in the 6th. Here's a pitch taken up and away. Again, as we mentioned, we're not doing pitch count here tonight, but at this point, I got to think that Potts beginning to pick up the count, kind of where he might be getting tired. Here's a strike on the inside corner.
The courtesy runner at first base is number
1
16,
ball, 1 strike.
McCarty.
Will, as we know, a very good bunter, and Broncos have been caught on a couple of bunts by Carson Scott, so we'll see what's going. Oh, he gives it away. Now he pulls it back and then gets caught. We had a young man a few years ago that was really good at going in and out with bunt, no swing. But Will got caught himself on that one. So he's behind on the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Not bunting now, probably. Here's a pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Hit slowly over to second out, and that's all they'll be able to get. That'll go as a fielder's choice. 6-4 on the play. Will on down to first base.
Look like Luffy Jeff is going up to the pitching mound.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a conference and then probably going to, handing the ball off. So number 4 will be coming in for the Broncos to take over the pitching duties. That's Clay Bowman. Clay Bowman had been playing second base earlier and now on to pitch. So a pretty good outing there as Potts is able to get 2 outs into the 6th inning, but at that point we are going to change pitchers as Scott McTaggart, the head coach, out to the mound and makes the change.
We got a girls softball. We had a hit the single out to the center field, and they hit the girls on the run on the second right now. They got 2 outs so far right now over there. They're bottom of the 7th.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? The new pitcher for Lafayette Jeff is number 4, Clay Bowman.
So Potts goes 5 2/3. As it stands now, he would be the winner. But the Athenians still have something to say about that.
Looks like Cam is still back out and get to warm up again in the pitching bullpen. I think Coach Rhodes kind of looking forward for Cam Sonner coming in pitching.
Okay, Fitzwater to the plate. Fitzwater 0 for 2. Grounded out to shortstop and flew out to the first baseman. Runners at first and third for the Athenians here in the bottom of the 6th. Needing those guys to get on around and score. A big at bat here for Cade Fitzwater. Here's a pitch, and this is down low, ball 1. Little pause that time by home plate umpire Darren Haas. Here's a pitch, and this is right down the middle for a strike. One ball, one strike. Both runners very, very short lead-offs. Pitch by Bowman is taken by Fitzwater for a strike. That one of those balls that probably was indeed a strike, but it was up in the zone and the outer part of the plate. And here's a 1-2. Swung on and missed, and that one was off the plate. So Bowman comes in and does what a relief pitcher is supposed to do and gets a big strikeout to kill the Athenian rally.
No errors.
So no runs on one hit, and the Athenians leave a couple on as we go to the 7th. The Athenians trail it by a score of 6-2. 6-2 for the Broncos. 2-5-3 for your Athenians.
Well, looks like softball game's over already. The score is 9-6, and Central Castle won that game.
Okay. Well, pretty good effort over there.
All I can tell you about the softball team, they're trying to come back and win the game, but they're working on it.
Well, young ball club, they're still a very young ball club, and they were young last year, and still in that mode of trying to be better every time they go out, and hopefully, the young ladies will continue to work hard and improve themselves, and because there are going to be a lot of them back next year, we think, and they certainly keep working at it. They're going to be better. Well, we do have that change on the mound as big number 24 comes in there. Cam, as we mentioned, got his first start against number 1 4A Carmel Greyhounds, and that's a great experience. Young man who goes in and he knows he's going against one of the better teams in the state, and now when he goes in from now, he's going to say, well, at least maybe these guys are not going to be quite this tough. But hey, these Broncos have been pretty tough, even though they've really only recorded 6 base hits, but nonetheless, they stand there with a 6-2 lead over the Athenians.
Okay, right now, Kim Thunder is the pitching mouse right now.
The pitcher, Clay Bowman.
And Ethan Peterman is the first baseman. Keith Fitzwater is third right now.
All right, here's a pitch, and that one misses down and in. This is the current pitcher, Bowman. And this ball's way inside.
And Katie Jones is back into his right field.
Right. Saunders with a fastball around the knees, swung on and missed. So 2-1. Top of the 7th, the Athenians trailing 6-2. Here's the next pitch, just a little bit inside. 3 balls, 1 strike. Saunders delivers, and this one actually hit the batter, so he just as well got out of the way of that one. He was going to go to first base either way. Well, anyway, came up.
Third baseman, Jay Siegel.
Having a little bit of trouble. He's way inside with.
We got a pitch runner. Goes to first.
Get a number there. 20-something, but
20-something like that.
We'll get him here in a minute.
Number 29.
The courtesy runner, first base.
29.
Riley Eberhardt.
Yeah, Riley Eberhardt. He's a junior. And here's a pitch, and boy, he's still way inside with his delivery, which means he's going to have to hang on a little bit longer. Jay Siegel, the batter. Siegel, pretty impressive hitter. He's 2 for 3 on the day. Scored 1 run. Had a double in the second inning. Single. The ball thrown away. Goes clear to the fan. He's going to go all the way to third without much trouble. So, pinch runner Eberhard having a little fun out there. He gets all the way around to third. That'll go as an error on the pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
It's a ball. Cam struggling a little bit right now. Here's the ball taken to left field. This will drive in a run. Sacrifice. Well, it will not. And the coach, and then the coach.
Wow.
He's wondering what.
Wow.
I guarantee you, he told that young man to tag up and go. But
he didn't want to go around because he'd look at the shortstop, and he didn't want to go for it.
Well, I tell you what, that young man's not only going to hear it from the coach, but
exactly.
Siegel, who hit the ball out there, is going to let him know you just cost me a sacrifice fly RBI.
Yeah. We got another number 29 in the plate. He's a pitch hitter.
Well, this is Colbridge at the plate. Here's a ball swung. No, there's number 20. Pardon me, you mentioned that.
I just said number 20.
It is Swingle. Swingle is a left-handed hitter. He's first time bat. Here's a pitch on the. Oh, yeah, it is.
He's got.
Home plate umpire Darren Haas with a super pause. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 away here in the top of the 7th. Here's a pitch swung on and right back to this net. Here's a pitch swung on and missed. So pinch hitter Winrick is out of there with the second out of the inning.
The center fielder, Connor Hamilton.
Here's Hamilton. Hamilton on the day is 0 for 2. He did score a run after being hit with a pitch. Here's a fastball down, swung on and missed. Here's a pitch, gets the outside corner. No balls, 2 strikes. Cam Saunders trying to get the Athenians out of this inning without any damage. Here's a line drive, caught by Abney at second base. So that'll retire the Broncos here in the top of the 7th.
Right now on the scoreboard, we have 6 runs on Lafayette Jeff, and we got 2 runs for us. And we got 6 hits, and we got 5 hits for Crawfordsville, and 1 error on Lafayette Jeff, and we have a 4 error on Crawfordsville.
Yeah, you look out there and you say, well, the Athenians have really only been out hit by 1, 6-5. I will say this, the Bronco hits have had a little more power to them. I think they've had maybe 3 doubles, I know 2, and they've just really been able to take advantage also of the 4.
I think Lafayette they got the more power.
Well,
what they're hitting in the bat.
But Justin, the 4 errors have made their hitting more effective. I mean, the runs, and I have not counted how many unearned runs, but the very first run that Lafayette got was unearned, and I think there were at least 2 more that were unearned, and possibly more than that. So the defense today has really been the major problem. Pitching, Jeff has had 7 innings to bat, and they've only had 6 hits. So, you can pretty much live with your pitcher limiting the opponent to 1 hit an inning. So the pitching's been pretty good. But we haven't made the plays that we needed to make, and that's where we find ourselves down by 4 as we come to bat in the bottom of the 7th inning. So Dylan Wagner, the catcher for the Broncos, fires it down, and we're ready to go in the bottom half of the 7th inning, and we'll start off at really the best place for the Athenians to start off. It's the top of the order, and Trent Johnson. Trent on the day is 1 for 3. Here's the pitch, a strike at the letters. Carson Scott on deck. Here's the next pitch down, breaking ball. Pitch right there, strike 1. Pardon me, strike 2. We got 1 ball, 2 strikes. Trent Johnson here in the top or bottom of the 7th. Here's the pitch swung on. This ball is nubbed off to the right side and foul.
I think Trent Johnson trying to hit the ball, go out to the field, and get out of the way from Lafayette.
Carson Scott on deck, Caden Jones in the hole, and Athenians need a few more after that. Here's the pitch. This is down and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's a pitch fouled off. Good job by Trent that time, protecting the plate. Clay Bowman on in relief for the Broncos. Here's a ball taken to the right side. First baseman camping under. Now the second baseman says, I'll take that, and he does indeed. So Johnson pops out to the second baseman for out number 1. Carson Scott stands in.
Fielder Carson Scott.
Carson on the day is 2 for 2, and he also got a base on ball, so he's been the busy man for the Athenians on the base every time. We could only get him around 1 time. First pitch is a ball. Both of Carson's hits were bunts, but boy, they were both really good bunts. Here's ball 2. Next pitch down, ball 3. Carson Scott trying to get on for the 4th time today. Here's the pitch, and this is ball 4, so indeed he does.
I think Scott had 2 walks last time.
All right, Caden Jones stepping in. Caden, 1 for 3 on the day.
Caden Jones.
He doubled and drove in Scott in the first inning. Here's timeout called at the plate. Athenians led at the end of 1 by a score of 1-0, but it was short-lived as the Broncos came back and scored 1 in the second inning. Here's a ground ball right to the shortstop. He picks it up, gets it out, but at first base the ball's loose and into the Bronco dugout. So Jones is on down to second base, but that'll go as the fielder's choice, 6-4. And 2 down. That'll also.
Ball game.
They called interference.
What happened is he was running over, and he got tagged out at second. He's trying to throw at the dugout, and he called out on Kitty Jones. So
we know it's the 3rd out, and so the final score of the ball game is 6-2 in favor of the Lafayette Jefferson Broncos. And again, your line score for Lafayette Jeff, they had 6 runs on 6 hits and 2 errors. And for your Athenians, they had 2 runs on 5 hits and 4 errors. So the Athenians today, again, the story of the game really was Athenian fielding mistakes that led to most of those runs really being unearned. And Athenians not really driving the ball. Carson Scott, definitely the offensive man of the ball game for the Athenians, as he did have 2 bunt signals and also reached base twice on balls. So great job of getting on base by Scott, but just not enough today. So for the first time this season, the Athenians go down to back-to-back defeats as they were beaten Saturday 7-0 by Whiteland, and come back today and this evening lose it to the Broncos by a score of 6-2. So we're looking for some weather tomorrow that we can play ball in. Athenians hosting the Southmont Mounties in a conference ball game, and of course that will be on web. And Justin, the one thing I don't have is a schedule handy to tell me what that time of the ball game is.
For Southmont tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, is it?
Yeah, we'll be starting at 6 o'clock tomorrow night.
6 o'clock, okay. Well, I didn't want to announce it because I hadn't seen it on an official paper. So we'll hope that is right. We'll hope the weather does permit. And as you mentioned, it's a busy week with potential game on Wednesday and again on Friday. And those would be on webcast, I believe.
Unbelievable. It should be on the webcast Wednesday night with Miss Sissel. And we also will be on the webcast to Danville Coffin again. And we're going to post you Saturday. I will not believe if we'll be on that webcast that Saturday.
Yeah. Thursday and Saturday probably off, but the other days will be on. So, well, that kind of wraps it up from here. Again, the sad news, the Athenians go down to defeat to the Broncos, and hopefully trying to get it back in order tomorrow with conference play. So until then, we'll say good evening and see you again for good baseball tomorrow evening.